Hello and welcome to Verbal Journal episode 8. I hope everyone's doing well. In today's episode, I want to talk about 3 different ways to find more purpose in your life. Now, I know that me personally, I had struggled with purpose for a very long time, and as the years have gone on, that has developed stronger and stronger. So I wanted to give my experience to you guys in hopes that it can help some of you out. Now, before we get into these 3 different ways that I think can help a lot, I think it's very important to lay strong foundations before you do anything. I remember when I first got a mentor back 2 years ago or something. I don't have a mentor anymore. I kind of do, but they had drilled into my head how important it was to lay down foundations for anything. If you're trying to build anything, if you don't have strong foundations, then it will fall and crumble. So, what can help out in order for you to find your purpose? Now, everyone's purpose is different, and what the word purpose means is different. But figure out some high goals you have and how you can achieve them. This can be anything from becoming financially free to building a business to a certain point. Say I want to own a building in the city that's running multi-million dollars a year, blah, blah, blah. It could be I want to find the person of my life and, have kids with them, have a family with them, whatever it is. And essentially reverse engineering whatever that goal is, no matter how big or small it is. If it's a smaller goal, it's obviously going to be a lot easier to achieve. So sometimes making those smaller goals aren't as important. If that's your main focus, I think you should figure out, if it's only a small goal, I think you should figure out what the bigger overall goal is. For me personally, I think I've talked about it in a previous episode. I would love to buy property, build it from the ground up that I own, and then just rinse and repeat sort of thing. Not for even the money, but just for the sense of creativity and joy and hard work that goes into it. That is something I would love to do. And so I'm working my way towards doing that. Another big goal of mine is to do music full time, whatever that entails. That may not be being an artist full time, but being able to work for myself full time. So no matter what that is, because a lot of people say instead of working a 9 to 5, you work 24/7, and I'm okay with that. I just want to be able to work for myself on my own time for my own reasons. And that leads into the next bit as well. Make sure your morals are very clear and every decision along with them. I feel like it can be very easy to stray away from the main goal or main goals, plural, if you do not have strong morals. Now, same can be said for branding and stuff too. I feel like if you want the brand to go a certain direction, you have to make the outlines very very clear, sorry. I'm still on the back end of being sick, I do apologize. But yeah, making sure that those things are set in stone and very clear. For instance, say you're building a brand, you're like, this is what I believe in, and I don't want to work with these people because they don't align with my morals. Same could be said about anything, about family, friends. If there's people that are dragging you down and not pushing you to where you need to get, then they should probably not be in your life. Setting stuff like that can take you such a far way because, say for instance, that is the case of someone that you're keeping around, but they're just dragging you down further and further. That's only dragging yourself down further and further. So it's going to take longer and longer to get to that goal because you've got all this heavy weight on you. So outlining your morals and sticking to them, because it's easier said than done to just set them and not stick to them. So yeah, making them very clear. The next thing, do everything in your power to act on this as much as possible. And it's so true. As I mentioned, you've just got to be very disciplined in sticking to your morals and to your goals. So not forgetting who you are. Set it very, very, very clear. The clearer it is, the easier it will be for you to go back to. It's essentially setting your why. So your why would be if you have, say, a death in the family, or you lose motivation, or whatever it is. I know they're two very different things, but they both come down to your why. Like, you can stop doing what you're doing, but your why is why you keep going. So your end goal and your morals are your why. Your end goal being like, oh, I don't feel like fucking doing this, or I can't be bothered, or I'm going to give up. You think about that end goal and how far you've came, and the reverse engineering you've done, the steps that you've made to get towards that. And you use that to keep you going, like when you're feeling down and shit. And say with your morals and stuff, like, you could be like, oh, but it's different, like I'm close with this person or whatever it is. I'm trying to think of another example, but that's a good example of, you know, you're keeping that person in your life because they're a family member, or you're keeping that person in your life because everyone else is friends with them and it's just better that way. But the second you get rid of them, you will notice how much everything shifts and changes, man. So once you have those foundations laid out, I feel like, again, they're very important. If you don't do them first, each one of these next steps will not work as well as you want them to, and it will be very easy to fall behind or fail. The first thing I want to talk about is your career. The three things about your career is where you work. So this doesn't necessarily have to be what you do forever. Career or work can interchange. Work, what you do right now, is it going to take you to where you need to get? It may not necessarily be directly what you want to do. For instance, at the moment, I have mentioned that I am a tradesman. I do kitchen cabinet making. And I know I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. But right now, it's paying the bills. And right now, I'm actually getting more money out of it than I would anything else for the moment. So that is what's important to me right now. That work, where I work, the environment is very good. At times it could be chaotic and stressful and people yelling at each other and shit. But that is what's taking me to where I need to go. So where I am right now is so fucking important for where I need to go. It does pull me away from my main focus, which some people may look down on. But without it, I would not be going in the direction I'm going in, and I wouldn't be able to support where I'm trying to go. The next thing is what you do, and that's what I mentioned. It doesn't necessarily have to be where you're going. I do apologize. Some people look at it differently. Some people want to work and keep their passion separate, and other people want their passion to be their work. I think there's a balance between the two, and I think going all in on either one can be difficult because you're dragging away from the other, and I think everything has a balance. For me personally, I know that the music will pay off eventually, but that may not be what works out right now. I've got so many different avenues that I can take right now, and I'm trying to branch out so that if something does pop off, I can funnel into that one thing, and that may be what my work is. That may be where I'm taken to be able to fund me making it in music. You know, there's a funnel system towards that. It's not just one or the other. There's a balance between the both. The next one is who you surround yourself with. Again, so fucking important, because if the people you're surrounded with don't align with your morals, then you're not going to get where you want to get. It's as simple as that. Everyone knows the saying of you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I can't preach that enough, man. Like, even whether that be positive reasons or positive attributes or negative attributes, the people in my life, I notice that so much. Like, the people that are closest to me, they're the average, like, they are who I am. And you are in complete control of that. If there's stuff that people are really doing that is dragging you away from who you want to be or where you want to be, then fucking cut them out. Or like, you don't even have to cut them out completely. Just don't be around them as much. Be around someone else more, so they are in that group of 5. And I think over time you do realize that there's a lot of power in that. The next point I want to make is your passion / your hobby. Lean into whatever you love to do for fun. This is why I had mentioned the separation of work and passion. It can be the same thing, but you need to know what brings you joy. For instance, me personally, getting out and bushwalks, bro. Bushwalks have always been a massive thing for me. I fucking love walking through the bush. I love exploring new shit. Recently, I've noticed even creating special moments with people. Like, I don't go out much, so purposely going out to something that I want to go out to, again, aligning with my morals and sticking to that and sticking with the people I want to be around, again, aligning with my morals and creating good experiences, bro. That's what truly brings me joy. There's many things that bring me joy, but I think that's like at the top, at the pinnacle. And so I make sure that I do that as much as I can without abusing that, which is another point of there is balance to everything. You cannot have too much or too little of something. If you have too little of something, you become miserable. If you abuse something too much, that thing becomes less enjoyable. The other thing that she may not even like me mentioning, bro, I don't even know if she watches these, but a thing with the missus at the moment is I noticed both of us were very clingy and always around each other, which is a good thing at times. But right now, I have been very clear that I want to focus on what I need to focus on, and I need more time for myself to be able to do that, and less distraction. And she has heard that loud and clear, and I feel like in that, not talking as much or seeing each other as much because there's other stuff going on. I still make the time for her and talk to her every day, don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot less. There is less expectation, and I enjoy seeing her so much more. I feel like it's an attribute I've always had with anyone, bro. Like, I cannot be around the same people 24/7 because eventually you start picking negatives from them and you start getting annoyed at them. Whereas if you don't abuse that, then you give yourself room to breathe. You give yourself time to be able to enjoy each other's company instead of just being in each other's company, if that makes sense. So that's point number 1 for passions and hobbies. Point number 2, spend as much of your free time doing your hobby / passion. For me, again, I'm an artist. I try and leave as much time to be as creative as possible for when I can. There's a lot of work that goes into everything. There's a lot of business side of stuff that I handle, or back-end stuff that I do that accumulates and takes a lot of time. I also have my day job. I put a lot of hours into that. I have relationships that I maintain on top of the music stuff as well, on top of me streaming, making these videos. There's a lot that goes in, bro. And I have to always go back to doing what I love. Like, the thing that I find as therapeutic as possible is writing. Writing is the thing that I could be in the shittest mood possible, but if I feel in the mood for writing and I want to write or whatever it is, or I have free time to write, I will write, and it always makes me feel better. It always brings me joy. Same with bushwalking. Again, I need to get more into that. That's something I always try and make a priority, and then it always falls off very, very quickly. But I need to get back into that because it's free, bro. It's free and it brings so much fucking joy. The next point in your passions and hobbies is to learn to monetize slash master your hobby slash passion, or expand your skills slash love into something new. So I think in order for life to cycle and not become stale, this point here is so important. To learn to monetize is what I'm doing right now. I know what my end goals are and I know what they require, and I've got cameras, I've got phones, I've got social media. It's all free, man. And it's something you can monetize. My music, I can monetize. There's stuff that I can monetize to make me be able to do this for myself, be able to work for myself. It's going to take time to get to that point, and I'm well aware of that. I've mentioned that before. I don't care how long it takes. I will get there. And that's due to all these other things that I've previously said, man. Like, because I've set these things so clearly and followed them along strictly, it's gotten me to this point of confidence where it's like, I know I'm going to get to where I need to get because I am disciplined and strict on myself. Everyone works different. I am sick, and I think it's due to overworking, so I need to learn to take a step back when I need to. But a lot of people still see that as too much work, but I know that what I'm doing now will pay off in the end, and that's due to me loving what I'm doing. I've learned to master my hobby. I'm not at being a master, but I'm learning to master my hobby. I'm learning to monetize my hobby. So that's 2 points in that 1 point. And expand your skill set slash love into something new. I'm expanding what I'm doing, and I'm still loving the core of it. I feel like you could do that with pretty much anything, especially for someone in our day and age, someone of my age. Social media is a massive platform, and there's so much variety in what you can and can't do. Everyone has a phone. Everyone has access to be able to edit videos, post them. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do and monetize that shit. Why not have fun and create a life that you want to live? Like, instead of working for some slave doing a 9 to 5, it seems like a no-brainer, really. The next point I want to make is creating routine for balanced discipline. So that's what I was just talking about before. Write stuff down, in quotations, schedule, budget, journal. Writing has saved my life. And when I talk about this, I don't just mean writing music, I mean writing everything and anything down. Without writing stuff down, everything's in your head. And I remember a long time ago, I was a bit mentally unwell, and I've still got many problems of myself. But I was going to see a therapist, and I was going for a long time, and I'd seen multiple therapists. And in the end, I was just like, bro, I want to be able... the only reason I went in the first place is because I wanted to be able to deal with my problems on my own, and I couldn't. I simply couldn't. Like, I was young, I was stupid, and I just couldn't do it on my own because I didn't have the experience. So after seeing those therapists and nothing worked, it just made matters worse, really, in my opinion. I had said to myself, I'm like, look, I've got people that love me, that are around me, care about me. I want to be able to lean on them and they can help me. I don't want to see some random. I want someone that knows who I am and what I'm going through and understands more. Not at the time, I was in my teens, like 15 or 16 or something, I think. And I was seeing people that were fucking in their 30s or 40s, and it's just not... It's not the same, you know? And I feel like from that, I went back into my old ways of I'm just depending on myself. I wouldn't speak to people as often. I go back and forth with this, and I have my whole life. But something that did really save me was writing shit down. I think that's what got me into making music in the first place. And it's gotten me to where I am, and all the opportunities that I've met through the industry is through just writing shit down, man. Scheduling, I batter that with a bat all the time. Like, I talk about that all the time. It is so important to schedule fucking everything. It doesn't have to be as, like, strict as you think it does. But the more you schedule stuff, the more time you can fit in for other things. The more on the ball you can be. Like, there's so much in that. Budgeting as well. I feel like younger people will never understand that, and that's okay. But budgeting takes you so fucking far as well. You can literally do anything in any position you're in. I've not been in the most fortunate positions in my life, and I now realize that it doesn't matter what position I'm in. I have a choice of where I want to go, no matter what happens. Even if I get set back to square zero or beyond that, like before that, I have a choice of what I want to do, and anything is possible. You just have to be able to put your mind to it, and budgeting can take you to that point, especially financially. So could journaling. Journaling goes back to me writing music. I definitely wrote music before I started journaling. But journaling opened up so many doors in my mind as well. I was not manifesting, what's the word? Meditating. I was meditating for a while before journaling, so I've gone through stages of everything, really. And meditating was really helping. That's something I go back to every now and then. But journaling, just getting my thoughts out, writing morning pages from the Artist's Way book that I've mentioned in the past as well, opened up a lot of doors. I don't stick to that anymore. My form of journaling right now is verbal journal. I don't think I write anything down aside from that right now, journaling wise. But I definitely schedule shit, budget shit. And without that, I wouldn't be the same person. Like, even people I see around me that don't do that, you can see the difference in level that there is. That person, say for instance, someone goes full throttle and they're not doing that, they can do it for a bit, but there's not a lot of longevity in it because they burn out, because they don't even know where they are themselves, and it's hard to reflect on anything. It's hard to tick anything off. Yeah. The next one is tied into that, which is set goals. Set goals of where you want to go. Set goals of things you want to achieve. For me right now, the goal is to get this car sorted. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to save 3K. So I have a safety net. I think I talked about this in the last episode. Goal number 3, I think it was 3, is to save 6K. Goal number 4 is to invest that into a business and just escalate it. And just have all these fucking goals that are going to lead up to my, whatever I said before, my end goal. Do everything in your power to act on as much action as possible. Make your morals are very close to everything. Figure out some higher goals you have and how you can achieve them. That's what it was. So going back to all those foundational things, I'm then setting those small goals in between to lead up to that end result. I've noticed how bad my sinuses are talking this whole time, so I do apologize for this episode. There's a lot of juicy information I feel like in this, but I do apologize. I'm still sick, still getting out of the rut of it, but I'm feeling a lot better, so that's why I'm able to make these videos. I try not to sound too sick to make them, because I want you guys to be able to fully understand. I don't want to just be blabbing while I'm sick, because that's gross. Try to not let yourself burn out. Again, this is another reason why scheduling and budgeting and journaling is so important. And enjoying having fun and all these things, like, all lead out to not burning out. Yes, I still have burnt out, but it doesn't happen that often at all. And the only times it happens is if I steer away from doing these things. If I put too much on my plate and I don't focus on what's most important to me right now, it's so easy to burn out. So, keeping all this in mind, man, like, what was the beginning of this? 3 ways to find more purpose in your life. Doing all this, if you actually follow all of these steps and you have not found purpose in your life, do it again. Find something else. Do it again. Do all these steps again. If that doesn't work, do it again. Don't stop until you find your purpose. It may not have to be as in depth as this, but I feel like by following these steps, you lead yourself to self discovery and self success. You push your limits. You will start creating routine with all of this and get to a point where it becomes habit, becomes second nature. You don't even have to fucking think about it anymore. And you just do it. It's not a chore. You just do it because it's habit. And for someone that hasn't heard any of this, it might sound so overwhelming. Break it down. This is why I've put this into steps. Break it down. Start from the beginning. Do little things. Like, just start. Just do something. If you don't start, you will never get there. And as overwhelming as this is, do one step at a time, man. You don't have to do it all. Do one fucking step at a time until you build a momentum, until you build those habits. Like, I can't stress that enough. I get so frustrated with people just not trying. There's not enough time in this world to not try. Someone had even talked to me the other day about, like, aren't you scared you're getting too old and shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, at the age that I am, this is why I'm doing as much as I am, because I don't want to get to that age and go, oh shit, I haven't started. That's fucking time that I've wasted. Like, bro, the amount of stories I've heard of even tradies, like in my trade, of they're in their mid-40s or late 40s or whatever, and they're like, bro, I still feel like I'm 18, or I feel like I finish high school and nothing's happened in between. It's because they haven't started. They got a job and they got comfortable and that's it. They've earned their income. They don't save money. They have no purpose. Find your purpose. Start somewhere. Oh, man. You know what? What would have started absolutely all of this? There was a lot of trauma when I was younger. Walking. If you can't find reason to start any of this and you don't want to listen to me and walk away with none of this, do one thing for me. Go for a walk. Don't even listen to music. Go for a walk. Be in your thoughts. Be by yourself. That's a form of meditation. Just that in itself, you will start questioning stuff about your life, about yourself, and it all snowballs. It all starts from that. I feel like that's really where this all started from. And look where I am now. Like, I'm, to some people from an outside view, they'll see me and go, you're nowhere. But the confidence, the self-discovery I've already made for myself, and I'm still exploring every fucking day. I'm always pushing the boundary, always pushing my limits to try and search for what is right for me. That is the purpose of life, man. I don't care how selfish it is. You can spend your life pleasing other people and doing everything for everyone else, but life will not be as good as what it is unless you're doing all this shit for you, man. Like, it's so important. I've got loved ones, I've got family, I've got people I care about, but I cannot care about them as much as I do without caring about me first and trying to better myself first. Fucking mic drop, bro. Anyways, it's been close to the half an hour mark. I have blabbed on for quite a bit. Again, I apologize for the sickness. I will be streaming tomorrow. You guys will be seeing this the week after anyways, but I'm trying to strictly stream Tuesday, Thursday. Last week it didn't happen. I was very crook. I also was very slammed and busy. I had Tyler the Creator on the Thursday. I didn't want to record while I couldn't speak properly, even though I sound like shit. I'm sinusing now. But Tuesday, Thursday, I want to strictly stream every single night, afternoon/night, and whatever else in between. So tomorrow, which will be Tuesday before for you guys now, I'll be reading more of $100 million leads. Thursday, I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I'll figure that out. If I can fit reactions on the Wednesday as well, I'll be doing that. But, man, if you don't friggin' take anything from this, again, go for a walk. please, and come back to this. Listen to me. I am giving you source. Please listen to me, man. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you made it this far, please subscribe. It really does help a lot. If you're not following me on socials, it's tguy.official. I've been a bit slack on them recently. I've been trying to solely focus on YouTube. My short form content has been poor, but streaming platforms, it's just TGAR. If you want to go listen to my music or whatever, I have links in the description for everything. If you want to learn more about me, there's also extra information in the description as well. But that's all for now. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.